to a very first episode of Mo Mommies Mo Problems. Hello, happy holidays to anyone tuning in. This is Mo Mommies Mo Problems, your podcast destination for all things mommy related. So the goal here is to get real about motherhood. I feel like when it comes to social media, where the tendency is to post the cutest, most put together moments of our journeys, that it makes it that much harder for us mommies who are struggling to feel seen and validated. But the truth is that there's not a single mom out here who hasn't struggled to some degree. So I feel like it's important that platforms are available for us to get together and share our stories, share our wisdom, and share our experiences, the good, the bad, and the hot mess stuff, and the gut-wrenching, triggering stuff too, so that more of us can feel seen, heard, understood, and ultimately, ultimately less alone. Because no matter how different we all are, we all have something monumental in common. And that's raising these little biscuit heads while also trying to make something of ourselves. So let's get into it. We have a super special guest to talk with us today. This person is goofy, intelligent, protective, and one of the best parents I know. He's also super sexy. Please join me in welcoming my amazing husband, Darian Flowers.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
Hi, baby. Hi, Mr. Flowers.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Good, yeah.
So yesterday was Christmas.
Yes, it was.
Oh, what a day. How'd you do Christmas growing up, babe?
We'd always do it in the morning. We wouldn't do like Christmas Eve at midnight or anything.
Uh-huh.
So we'd wake up probably around 6 or 7. My mom would make a dump cake, which I think is like cake mix.
Dump cake.
Yeah, cake mix, can of peaches,
That
stuff
sounds...
like that. Yeah. You throw it in the oven, throw some oatmeal on top or something like that, butter, It ends up being like a crumble over.
Yeah.
So would you
like
just cobbler?
So would you just wake up smelling dump
Oh
cake?
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you wake up smelling that. You go out there and there's just presents everywhere.
And so were you raised on Santa or Jesus? Santa. So did they keep up the charade? Like they didn't
very agnostic household, but
yeah. So they kept up the charade. Like they didn't.
Oh yeah.
There was no we're buying you presents. We're going to Walmart to buy.
No,
did they lock the door to?
Not until because I had a younger brother too. Not almost until I was like a teenager, almost like 13.
When they started getting real about
Christmas. I knew it wasn't but as my younger brother was getting older.
Yeah.
It kind of fades out easier for the younger ones.
For the younger ones, yeah. Man, so we were raised on Jesus. and we did Christmas at midnight. So I was that kid who was like, Santa doesn't exist at school. And all the kids would hate me and they were like, you're not going to get presents. I was just ruining everybody's Christmas.
That's so weird though, because you think the, more religious people would be all into Santa and wanting to keep up the
thing. I think every household's different. I do know some incredibly Christian, conservative type people that do Santa. So I do think it depends. But the way we were raised is it was just there was Jesus, and then your parents would get you gifts, and Jesus is watching you. So okay. I'm saying whether you were raised on Santa or Jesus, somebody was watching you.
Yeah, Big Brother's watching.
Big Brother, yeah, he's out here. He's watching
1984 stuff.
Oh my God, we would do Christmas at midnight. We'd all try to stay up as much as we can, and then eventually, you fall asleep, but you fall asleep at 11:45, and then they wake you up at midnight, and it's we could have just stayed up.
I think there's an issue there because you're up at midnight, you open your presents. Mm-hmm. What's the next? What do you want to do with your stuff once you get your stuff?
You want to play with it.
You want to play with your stuff, but it's midnight.
Midnight, and then you go to sleep. But then the next day though, you wake up and you already have your stuff, so you just get to play with it all day. I guess, but either way,
you have a fresh day. But I feel like there's more waiting involved. You wait and you wait and you wait and you wait longer.
Yeah.
You open your presents, and then you're so tired that you're I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then
that's real.
You have to wait through another sleep again to actually
to get to the Well, and I think for us too, because there wasn't a Santa, that there was for us with the kids, kids are here, have to be quiet. But with the kids, we do Santa. You know,
Check your wallet.
so we do Santa. So like, we had to do it in the morning because that's when Santa comes. Santa comes at night on Christmas Eve when everybody is sleeping, right? So like, it ruins the illusion if the presents are already under the tree and you open them the night before. So it's just different ways that families do it.
We would always have some like presents already, you know, for mom and dad under the tree. Like it would, you know, the tree would fill up. Cousins, you know, and aunts, uncles would send gifts. They'd sit under the tree. But then, like always, the next day there'd be some extra stuff there.
Extra
like,
stuff.
Oh,
Santa came in. Santa came through this year. Oh man! So Christmas in our house was fun. Mm-hmm. By the way, third Christmas living together in the books. Man, 5 Christmases total since we started dating. But 3 Christmases as our little family unit in this house, and second Christmas now with 2 kids, which was so much fun yesterday. we had presents, we had vomit. It's a good time. The baby, we were all sick this past weekend. It just kind of hit us one by one, as it does in the households. Poor baby was the last to get sick, so on Christmas he was pretty much just like a little baby mummy, just laying there.
He was in the little basket with us, but
his little basket.
He was kind of just like, I want to sleep.
Yeah, and he was a little heat rock. He had a pretty crazy fever that was coming and going. And it was just kind of stressful. But I feel like we were both okay. And I was just like, okay, if he vomits, then I will worry. And then he vomited, and we were like, why? And we had to call them. We called the doctor, the nurse people, and they gave us some peace of mind. But I feel like sometimes, even when they give you peace of mind,
honestly, it's not like they're going to tell us anything that we didn't know.
Right.
But
it still makes you feel better.
Peace of mind. And like the dude said, we're paying for it. So.
Yeah. Yes.
Might as well
we
use
pay
it, right?
so much money. It's like, why are we paying for this if we're not utilizing it? But, you know, it was Christmas. So I was like, please don't tell me I have to bring my son into the hospital. Could you imagine? Ugh.
No, I don't want to.
The drive there alone would have been annoying. So anyway. So yeah, where do we go from here?
What else did you want to talk about?
Oh, dude, just had a wedding.
There's that.
Just had a wedding. So much fun. I'm just gonna call things fun when I mean it was a lot. Weddings are expensive, okay? I think that as a woman in America, you want to have the wedding, right? You want to wear the dress and be all pretty and get all the love and and the photos. But man, there's a lot more that goes into weddings than you think. They make things really expensive for like no reason.
It's for good reason.
It's for good. Yeah, I mean.
But there is a little bit of maybe not exploitation there, but taking advantage of the market.
Yeah, the fact that people go hard for their weddings, it makes things expensive. So it's like, I don't know, you could get candles, and candles aren't that expensive. But then if you were gonna buy wedding candles, like the wedding candles would be like $50 a candle. And it's like, why are these so expensive? They're just it's it's wax. What's happening here? So what do you think, baby? Are weddings worth it?
That's something that really depends. I think it was worth it to me. I mean, granted, I did want something smaller. But
Yeah,
I think even then, what we did was worth it to me because it was what you wanted, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's good. I think it's worth it. Now, would I rather spend that money on a down payment on a house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Marriage, mortgage.
We watched the show.
We watched the show, and every time we were like, why would you choose marriage over mortgage? And then I was like, let's have a wedding.
Yep.
So much fun. But it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day. It was fun.
I enjoyed the fact that everyone was there, too. And I do, like, I would have felt maybe a little bit of remorse if I did do what I wanted to do and have something very small and just have, like, siblings and close family. It would have been...
because you can't have everybody there.
Would have left some people out, and I don't like to do that.
And you know what? People are something else. They don't like being left out of things. You know?
No. I mean...
Nobody does.
I don't.
I don't. Actually, that's one of the things that triggers me a lot. But no, yeah. But I don't know. Would you do it again? Would you?
Would I do it again?
Quiet over here.
No.
No, I don't think I would either. I would not.
I don't want to do that over again.
I would not.
It was fun, but
I would not do that again.
everything leading up to it, like the day itself was cool, but leading up to it, everything was, was a lot. And I'm not a very public facing type of personality.
Yeah, you're more introvert. Yeah. My husband likes, he likes to be in smaller groups of people that he knows versus like a bunch of strangers smiling at him. That's a lot. And then like there's cameras, like you're like
what we used to call it back in the day, or what they call it? I'm more of a kickback person than a party person.
Than a party person. Yeah. I'm a party person. Yeah. I like to party, man.
Like, don't get me wrong, I mess with the rave every now and then, but like.
Oh yeah. But even then,
like a party full of people that I don't know, maybe a couple of friends there or something like that. Like I would be far more comfortable sitting around a fire with like a couple of my siblings and then some of my close friends, or something like that. But I like that closer. We could talk about some real stuff.
See, I relate to that. I do enjoy that, and I think that part of me is why you and I get along, because we do like to sit in the house and kick back. Like we would have like a few people over versus like, oh, let's throw a big party. That's a lot all the time. But I also enjoy attention. So, weddings and you get to dance and everybody, it's about you, especially as the bride. Like the bride gets a lot of attention. And I don't know if I saw, my mom didn't have a wedding like that, Mm-hmm. She was never in a wedding dress formally, and I think I just wanted that experience. I never saw anybody really have that in my family. So I was like, I want to do that,
Right.
So I don't know, I guess it was like me trying to fulfill something. But in hindsight, which is always 2020, I feel like I could have we could have had a sweet experience and not did it at a hall with all the money that it cost.
I kind of have a question for you.
Yeah.
How was it being a mom during your wedding? Having the kids and having to like deal with them during that day, where it's very stressful getting ready. Very stressful. And all that,
Gosh, it was okay because I had help. There were people, like when my friend Abby showed up, she was like, oh, I'll hold Jabari for you, blah, blah, blah. But as far as being at home, and I know you were with your brother, but when I was here by myself, that was kind of a lot. Because I was like, I made like 5 trips to the car, and I was using the stroller as like a way to transport everything. And I just had like all kinds of stuff stacked, and I was just like taking my dress out. And I had to try to fit everything in the car. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
Because my dress was so big, so it was like draped, and then I had both kids, and it was, So that was a lot. Trying to do my makeup, and the baby was crying. He just kind of wanted me to hold him. And right now he's doing this thing where he screams. So he just goes, ah! Like, he screams. And don't scream in a mic. That's not a good idea.
It's a chunky waveform.
I know, yeah. It's just like a mountain anyway. So yeah, that was a lot. And then, like I said, I am a partier. So as the night went on, I was definitely like, wait, who has my baby? But somebody always has your baby. That's the thing. And everybody loves Jabari. So, it was just kind of like, it was past the baby, past hot potato, but with the baby.
Small moment of time where I was like, man, where's my son? And not that he was completely safe. Hands. He was all around family. Yeah, and all that,
but so he was like, "Can I hold my son?" Yeah.
But there was a small moment just because there's so much stuff going on.
Everybody's in your face.
Everybody's saying,
everyone's trying to buy you a drink. Yeah,
all this.
Let me get you a shot.
Which is great.
Yes, love that. But
it's a lot.
It is a lot, especially like you don't like all that attention on you anyway. So after a while, you're like, please, can we just? Like the music was loud. Mm-hmm. The lights were off. There was like a smoke machine. It was got to be a lot.
Yeah.
But we did it, and it's over.
Yeah.
I've never been so happy for something to be over in my life than when all the planning of the wedding was done. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So we can move on. But so tell me, baby. You've been a dad now for about. Well, no, you've been a dad for a little bit, but you've been a dad to your own child for a little bit over a year now. Jabari just turned 1 a few
What,
days
6
ago.
days over a year?
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
days over a year and 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
I guess here's where I should start. Tell me about kind of being once we moved in together, you kind of, had to bloop bloop into instant dad with Matthias, who was, I want to say, maybe 4 when we first moved in, 4 turning 5. What was that like? To go from living with your brother in a more of a bachelor pad kind of situation, and then instantly being like, now you're dad.
Yeah.
Stepdad.
Yeah. No, it's a definite change too.
Yeah, man.
And also considering the line of work I'm in too, we're not all typically like our work schedules and everything is kind of
work on holidays and late nights and sometimes all throughout the week.
Yep.
So before you'd be able to come home and like hang out with your brother or something and knock out.
It would not be a strange thing, especially if our schedules lined up where we would be like, playing video games into the night, or maybe we'd cook something or something like that.
Have a beer.
And this is at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So and then we both sleep and then don't have to go to work till like 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah. So I mean, do you feel like you had to kind of grieve a little bit some of your life when we moved in and changed everything?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't come into that situation until I was 29. So I've already had enough of that. I've already had enough of that in my life to where at this point there's not much grieving.
Yeah.
It's like life well lived.
So you're like, cool.
Like
you were ready to move to the next
I was
thing.
ready. I was definitely ready for that. Yeah.
Was it what you expected?
I don't know if I really gave myself many expectations when it came to it.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I was ready. I was just ready for whatever was to come.
Whatever was to come, man. I mean, I remember when we started. Once Matthias was in kindergarten, and you were like taking him to school.
Yep.
You just that's a lot of responsibility, and I was pregnant. It's just a lot. So after the baby got here, what was that like? Tell me about those feelings, man.
It's hard to even say sometimes because it's like I don't even know how I got this far so far.
You're great though. I know it's hard though. You get in your head and you feel like, am I even a good parent? Am I messing my kids up? It's a regular thought I have. I think I have that thought like multiple times a day, like, oh my gosh, I'm messing my kids up. Oh my gosh, I'm messing my kids up. But I feel like,
thing you want to do.
But it's like if you're really worried about that, you're probably doing all right. Because there's lots of people that don't. They're not even.
It's not even concerned.
They're not even concerned about how their kids' emotional experience. It's like you can be a good parent and feed them and clothe them, but I think that the emotional stuff is like kind of where it counts sometimes, because you could be there for them physically and then be totally absent emotionally, and they'll still grow up and be not self-sufficient and like struggle with being responsible and like self-esteem and their attachments to other people and just how they feel, their place in the world, like all of that. It really comes down to like simple stuff like how often are you hugging your kid? How often are you getting on the floor and playing with them, which I'm so bad at. Sometimes I'm just like so tired and I'm like, I just want to lay here and watch Insecure, like I don't want to play with Uno for the 25th time.
No, you do it when it counts, but I think you do it when it counts. It's just.
But sometimes
you also, in wanting to do that so much, maybe sometimes might do it too much,
What, like the lounging and the chilling?
No. I'm talking about the like doing the, spending the time. With,
Yeah,
if they
giving them
wanna,
the attention that
wanna
they
play,
ask for.
yeah. If you do it all the time, they're just gonna expect it all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of, I think, have a balance when it comes to that.
Yeah. So we had some childcare earlier this year, and that kind of fell through, which was super disappointing and upsetting and frustrating. And there was a bunch that went into it. But since then, you've been home with the kids during the day,
Yep.
every day. So I think it's coined you the term Mr. Mom.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, you
Being
gotta.
this
It's a
mom.
good way to bond, though. I've seen you and Attias's relationship grow a whole bunch.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, because I'm, picking them up, dropping them off from school.
you were sending me photos. There was a during summer vacation. He was like, "Oh, I just took the kid to Dave and Buster's," and I'm like,
You
"What?"
gotta, dude. You
He's
gotta
like
do
partying
stuff, man.
without me. I was so.
You gotta do stuff though. Like if you can't, because they're eventually gonna get so bored.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, you're going on dates?
And you're like, man, I just want to play video games, so I guess we're just gonna go to Dave and Buster's and play video games.
Yeah, or like you'll be like, oh, we went to go get frozen yogurt. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm all at work. They're partying.
I think a little bit of that might be like some stepdad compensation.
Yeah.
A little bit, but like
You're like, look, dude, I'm
trying
fun.
I'm trying to be cool.
Fun dad. Yeah.
Also, I just want, that's kind of the type of father that I wanted to be. Is like I want to be the
fun dad.
fun
And
dad.
you
I want
are,
to teach
baby.
you stuff.
You're so fun and you're funny. You make everybody laugh all the time.
I forgot to give him his Red Rider.
Are you gonna do that, or do you want to do it for the birthday?
Maybe we should save it for the birthday. That just came to me.
Save it for the birthday because, I mean, Darian went hard for the first boy this Christmas. He got very excited about it. You were probably more excited than he was about Christmas.
Yeah, it was cool. I was excited to see you open your stuff too.
Yeah. I also got some pretty awesome gifts as well, and I was really excited for you to open your gift too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm curious if other parents get their partners, like if you are married or if you're in any kind of relationship during the holidays and you also have kids, like do you get your partner something for Christmas as well, or just the kids?
My dad bought my mom a table saw one time.
Oh really? See, like I know sometimes it's like, oh, you have a little necklace or something, but like I know my mom and my stepdad would just get each other like kitchen supplies.
It's 1:36, and it says it's 13:36.
Matthias, we're recording, baby. Remember, Darian said stay in your room. This is just real life. This is parenting. Your kids don't listen. That's that's the post. Okay, can you go back to your room?
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, baby.
Love you, buddy.
Okay. Good.
So what were we saying?
Threw me off, but we could keep going. We could just keep it rolling. Tell me about, do you have any dad hacks? You be going to Costco. You be making these trips. You try to be as efficient as possible, and I know you like to. My husband is he's a well-prepared man. He doesn't like to go into things without knowing where all the exits are and the quickest way to get from point A to point B without losing his mind.
Yeah, it just makes it easier so I don't lose my mind. Like you pretty much nailed it there.
Yeah.
Is,
And I'm
that's
not that
amazing.
way. I'm just chaos all
Like
the time.
going into any store or something like that. Like I like to know the layout, know where everything is.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if I'm going to get this, and this, what's the easiest way to get
You just
this,
bing,
this,
bing,
this,
bing,
and
bing,
this
bing.
without going back and forth? I hate doubling back.
Yeah, he hates stuff.
Because you just
And
gotta
I always forget and double back.
especially this time of year too. You have to go through a sea of people and like Costco. I love you, but sometimes
Nah, Costco. It ain't it.
raises
Costco.
my blood pressure.
Yeah. There's people breathing on you, and they're about to hit your kid who doesn't pay attention to where he's at with the cart. Like,
Yep.
he's never paying attention. Is always about to just run into And then he also
and other kids,
other
doing the same,
kids, yeah.
doing the same.
Oh God! And then he's touching everything, and there's so much touching. It's like stop touching, stop.
Could be helpful though.
Sometimes
If you put them to work and stuff.
yeah. You're like,
Especially if you end up getting a giant box of fruit snacks, it tends to like, be like, oh, I get to put this in the cart. This is
yeah.
for me?
Oh, fruit
okay.
snacks.
That's cool.
Yeah. Then he's gonna ask for fruit snacks like the whole drive home.
Yeah.
When we get home, can I have fruit snacks?
I might bust one open in the store and hand it to him. You know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I did that with the baby the other day. He was yelling at me for applesauce. We were at the food court. Tyus was hungry. I'm like, pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have anything for the baby in his bag, and I was stressing out. But I was like, oh yeah, I got applesauce pouches. So.
See, that's the other thing I watched you do, baby, is you start you have these cool ways of like feeding the baby because he gets really impatient, so he wants like food right now, right?
Oh,
so if
yeah,
you're preparing, tell us about that. Like,
Oh yeah. I will.
he has a system.
I'll start making his oatmeal or something like that. But in the interim time, especially now that we're not so much doing the bottle, he's a little lactose intolerant or something, so milk doesn't agree
Milk
with him.
does not work. Yeah.
So in order to get that little like appeasement food going on, I'll hand him a little pouch. I buy those pouches.
Yeah.
And
He
could sell-
figured out
he
how
could-
to.
He could sell. I taught him. Well, he taught himself. I helped him to self feed with those pouches, and that's a good little break before we get into the meat of the food of whatever I'm preparing. You know.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to use the spoon. He's a little over 1, and he's just every baby's on their own. They're on their own timeline as far as where they're at developmentally. But he's not quite walking yet. We're working on that. He likes to stand. He likes to cruise on the furniture.
Yeah, he's cruising.
We bought him his little walker, but he still doesn't quite get that he has the power to move himself. So he just kind of stands there and then like falls forward.
Heart goes forward, his feet stay planted.
Yeah, and then he just like
Yeah.
almost falls, and you're like, okay, well,
I'm like, man, you're gonna bust your chin.
you're gonna
open.
bust your which is also another worry I think right now.
Yeah. Wood floors.
Wood floor. Yeah, we have wood floors. So we do have his little baby mat. We should probably start pulling that out again. We kind of stopped using that, huh? We were using that for a while. Baby mat.
Yeah. We should get another one. Maybe we could get one of those little piece together ones, the puzzle piece ones.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So you do a really good job, babe, of just trying to stay on top of things as much as you can. You know what I mean? I'll come home and he's like making dinner and laundry's going, and it's really nice. Like, not everybody has supportive husbands. No offense, but some husbands really be out here like not doing anything. Like, I will never forget being in Kaiser, and every nurse, we had so many nurses because we were there for several days. And they switch nurses like every 4 hours. So like, it was like a new person in there very often. And every time they would be so shocked that Darian was like loving on me and supporting me, like in the most basic ways. Like, he was just like rubbing my back, and they're like, oh wow, you're doing good, Dad. So supportive. That's good. And I'm like, is that not the norm? Like, do guys just come in here and they're on their phones?
That sort of stuff
That
seems
what?
that at least that like rubbing your back when you're pregnant and stuff, and people not doing that. That's weird.
That's weird.
The guys not doing the household work and stuff like that. I kind of see that just because
That's still weird to me. Like, because I think it depends on how you run your household, right? And,
Right.
And how you do marriage, because some people do have gender roles, which is so gross, so outdated, in my opinion.
Well, it's
personally,
whatever floats their boat.
Whatever floats. Well, that's the thing too. If it works for you, it works for you. But as far as we are concerned, gender roles are not.
No, because I need you to make some decisions sometimes. I'm not.
It's really hard for me to do. He's like, make a decision, any decision. Where are we gonna eat? I think sometimes you just try to challenge me just to try to get me to make a decision. Like,
Yeah,
you know what you want to do,
sometimes.
but you'll still be like, hey, what do you want to do? And you just watch like my heart's racing. Stop. You know I don't do well with this. Like, I don't do well with this. But I'm working on it. 2023. It's gonna be the best me.
You're doing good. We'll figure out where to go eventually.
Yeah. We'll figure out what to eat eventually. Yeah. But that's why you're the chef, you know what I mean?
I think, well, that's something I wanted to mention too. I think that's possibly why I do a lot of those things around the house
'Cause you
and stuff
do 'em
like
at
that.
work already?
Well, it's just something that I'm used to, and it's something that I'm good at and can be efficient at. You know,
Yeah.
being in the hospitality industry for like 17 years now, it's you know, I like running a household like a kitchen sometimes.
Yeah. But in that also he's like, let's go.
There's structure and you know, attention to detail,
Efficient.
efficiency. Yes.
Vacuuming. I'm bad about cleaning too. I really need to get it together. I'm a very cluttery person. I have, but see, I'm someone where like if it's all over the place, I know where everything is. Versus like once it's away, I'm like, where is it? Like I gotta look for my stuff. It doesn't really make sense because it's like easier to see if you clean. But I'm always complaining after we clean up about not finding my
I
stuff.
can't find. Where's my bra? Where's my belt?
Where's my?
It's where you put it.
Where'd you put it, babe? It's always that. It's never like, where did I put it? I'm like, babe.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love
Babe,
that.
where did you put my lipstick? You're like,
What
why
was-
would I move?
No. Here's I remember the thing. Right? The cream of wheat.
The,
The cream of wheat.
the great cream
You
of
were
wheat disaster.
you were wondering where I put it in the pantry,
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
it turns out you put it in the spice
I
cabinet.
put it in the spice cabinet.
Yeah.
But I really thought you moved it. Because you just cleaned in there.
Right.
He had just reorganized.
I get it. I do that all the time. I'm
And
like,
I was like-
where's I just did it recently with something actually.
What was it? I can't
trying
even
to remember.
Oh my God.
I
so funny.
think maybe it was something involving setting all this up, but
Yes.
I was looking for
Yes.
it. Yeah, it was it
He's
was
like, where? Yes.
the power supply for the light. I was like, where's the power supply?
What's it called? The adapter? What's the adapter?
Yeah.
This is why we need to stay organized. That's me. That's your voice in my head. Darian's like 75 in my head. He's very old man. Old man.
It's fun. It's
Old
cool.
energy. You're very old school. Darian will smoke a cigar and read the paper and drink coffee black. And he'll be like, the world today.
I like the news.
He likes the news. He likes the news. Into it. Man.
Politics.
Yeah.
Nice slow burning tobacco. It's all good. All good things. Coffee.
Coffee. Black. No cream, no sugar. He likes coffee like he likes his wife.
Yep.
Strong and black.
And bitter.
So good. So good. So we've been married now for a little bit over a year.
Yep.
What's that been like? Did you feel like there was a change from our dating relationship to being married? Because we were already living together before we got married, and I was pregnant. So we kind of jumped around in the order. There's no order, but you know.
The still living together part is where I really started to notice the change. But once
The
we were
truth.
married, I think there was some more comfortableness that started to happen.
Yeah.
And trust and, you know,
Yeah.
all of that. Because, like, once you're committed, you're committed.
Yeah.
And
Which is scary also. Because it's like, oh, snap. Like, I'm really all in this. Like, if this doesn't... Like, it's like you're jumping off a cliff with another person. And you're, like, hoping that you can pull the thing. What's that called? The parachute?
yeah.
And you can float. But, like, you're not supposed to pull it till later. So you're just supposed to trust that the other person's going to pull it.
Oh, you mean like when you're riding and you're skydiving in tandem?
Yeah.
So like you're attached to some dude who's got the chute. So you're like,
It's on, yeah. I'm trusting
I
you.
hope he's got the chute and he's gonna.
And if I really didn't trust you, I wouldn't have jumped off the cliff.
Right.
Right?
You wouldn't have jumped out of the plane. You've been like,
I'd have
Nah.
been like, nah, I'm not. I don't
Nah.
think I can do this. I don't trust you to pull the parachute. But I mean, here we are. And I feel like we pulled the thing. We floating.
right?
But it was definitely scary at first.
Yeah. For
That,
sure.
you know, adjusting. Especially, oh my gosh, when we first moved in together, Atias was like a demon.
Right.
The
The cat was peeing
The
everywhere.
cat was a demon.
pissed.
Everybody had a demon.
Cat's sibling had to move with
Oh,
my
yeah.
brother,
Oh.
so she lost her mind.
Yeah, they separated the kitties. We had to do an arrangement, a custody arrangement.
Yep.
That was not easy for her. She was very upset. And we also just moved in and my son was a demon. So not that he was terrorizing her on purpose, but he was just like a little 4-year-old just stomping around, you know.
Right.
New person. She's like, who's this? There's never been a tiny person in their house before.
Mm-hmm.
So that was already weird. So she was peeing on the furniture. We would fight about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, your cat's peeing on the furniture.
You're worried about the cats and the baby and everything now.
Oh, yeah. Matilda.
But look at them both now. They
Yeah. Jabari loves the cat.
Mm-hmm.
She'll just lay there and he just like pulls on her tail. She doesn't even get mad.
She doesn't get mad at all.
He just yanks.
No scratch. I
Yanks.
think that's probably because of how we
Played around with her.
and
Kind
stuff.
of throw her around.
Not throw her around, but more handling the cat. She kind of ragdolls a little bit. Her brother's more of a ragdoll type.
around.
It's weird.
Pablo.
Like you could pick him up and all this.
Yeah.
She kind of.
She
She has these, but she's like, "You got me."
Yeah. So if you have a cat, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cats. They have a hard time adjusting to things. So she was definitely. She added a lot of stress to things. Attias was. I think
He was adjusting as well.
he was adjusting as well. He didn't like this dynamic. He was like, "Who are you?"
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was living with my mom, Attias we were in the same room. Like we were sharing the same bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a huge change for him to. First of all, he had his own room finally, which was awesome. His own bed. In a lot of ways, I thought that was going to be really good for him, and it was eventually. But at first, he was not having it.
No.
He did not. Man, the tantrums. God, do you remember when he was like screaming? He would like scream. It was
I
so-
try to block it out.
Yeah. The memories?
It's all coming back
PTSD,
there
it's
now.
like coming up.
You have a blank face, just like.
And it's
Ooh.
like, welcome to being a parent. That's a lot. Even dating a single mom, like when we were dating, I mean, I guess it wasn't that hard because when I was living with my mom,
No, but you still want to have a good impression, and you want to make sure that the,
that they like you
kid
and
doesn't-
that
kid
I
doesn't
like,
hate you.
and that I like your guys' like
Dynamic, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was really cute. Like, I remember the very first time I introduced you to Attias, you were like playing with him and he thought it was so much fun, and then you were like, okay, I'm done now, and you were telling him like, okay, that's it, no more, all done, and you were being so nice, and then I think he started like crying.
Yeah.
And he ran off and was so crying, and then he was like, oh no.
And I was like, okay.
Don't do that.
No.
He was like, does he still like me? I was like, yeah, he still likes you. It's okay. He good. I was like, he's fine. But it was just really cute that you cared so much about him liking you. He was throwing tantrums then too. That was when he was really screaming. He was like 2 when we met. Like 2.5 probably.
Yeah.
That was rough. It was rough. But yeah, we found our footing, baby.
Mm-hmm.
3 years living together. Or maybe 3 years? How many years? We moved in together in 2020. 2 years. 2 years living together. It'll be 3 years at the close to the end of this upcoming year, 2023. It's insane. It's been a lot. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself in this time, you know? As a parent, I feel like I've grown as a mom, right?
Yeah.
Since we've met, you know? And also just trying to co-parent with Alex and, you know, and moving on from that. Alex is my first son's dad. He pops in and out. But I do think it gets frustrating when you're trying to co-parent with a parent that kind of doesn't really have their life together, because on one hand, it almost feels like, I'm like, I can't expect much from you. But then also it's like, I should be able to expect something from you, right? Because like, you're a parent. Like you had it, you know, you've said it. You're like, I couldn't even imagine like having a kid with someone and kind of not really having more of a strong desire to get that part of my life together, you know, at least so that you could be present, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard trying to co-parent. I mean, when I was really truly co-parenting with him, it was when I was single, and that was hard too. But I mean, it was a little bit easier though, because I think we both had our parents kind of helping facilitate drop-offs and pickups and stuff. But like, if you don't become independent and like get your own personal stuff, then like once you move out, it's like, oh, I don't have that support system anymore, and it's gonna be harder for me to see my kids. So I try to be empathetic, but also it's like, come on now, you know what I mean? I think it's hard too because like you've been around for a lot of Matthias' life, and so in a lot of ways like you've been raising him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Not in a lot of ways, in all the ways.
in all the ways you've been raising you really though, baby.
Mhm.
You know, and so it's like you feel strongly about that.
Yeah.
About what a dad should be, and I know, gosh, you have so many. That's like a layered. It's a loaded topic anyway, right? Fatherhood. But I think it shows, baby, that you care a lot about it.
That's good.
You're a good parent.
I try.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This was a fun time. Any parting words? Do you have anything to share? Anything else?
Never forget your diaper bag.
Never forget your diaper bag.
Always remember the little mat that goes in there.
He cares a lot about the little mat that you change the diaper on.
Oh, it's just.
I just
you
throw
know,
him anywhere, man. Put him on the floor. I don't care.
I do that too. Trust me. But there's sometimes you're in a place where you
It's
need an
yucky.
extra pad or something like that.
Or in the car or something.
Uh-huh.
It's like a crazy poop diaper.
Extra food, especially if you got a hungry boy.
Extra food. Pouch, applesauce pouches.
Applesauce pouches.
Or, or any kind of
Teach
pouch
'em early.
with like what's that called? The puree foods.
Yeah, those
If
little
they're
puree
young
packs there.
babies, puree foods.
That's good. Because it's a very easy transition, I think, from the bottle to those, especially once they start, messing with the purees and things like that.
What about dropping kids off at school?
Oh, early. If you got the time to be there early, get there early.
Get there early, drop
Get
them
there
off.
early. Figure out how you could squeeze in or whatever, because I know some schools do like lines and they have things set up, but where we have our kids go to school, it's kind of in a neighborhood, so you need to get there early in order to be able to drop the kids
all
off.
the cars, traffic,
And
people don't
another
care.
thing too is I when I was going to school, our parents would always drop us off around like a little bit before school actually started. I drop my son off in breakfast time. Like I let him get there early, and I think it's a good thing because he wakes up earlier. He's used to that early riser kind of thing. Getting there, he'll eat. He eats here, he eats there too, so he gets a little double meal.
breakfast.
It's a second breakfast. And I think it's good. He gets to be there at school early, and it also just kind of gets those good habits in there too, as far as getting up early, being ready, all of that.
And even picking him up from school, baby, you be pulling up like sometimes 30, 45 minutes prior.
That
so
has
that
to
you
do.
already
That
have
has
a
to
parking
do with
spot.
making sure the baby's comfortable, and I'm in a space to where I don't have to get out of the car and bring the baby with me. It might revolve all around my own personal laziness. I'm not sure, but
selfishness. That's how you raise your parent. Your parents. That's how you raise your children. I'm just kidding.
I guess, but I'll wait out there for him
and just
play the Switch or something,
Yeah, man.
And pass the time.
Play the Switch. There you go. Bring the Switch everywhere. That's another one.
Tablets are nice for the older ones.
Tablets?
Not all the time, because it's kind of almost seems like a drug to them sometimes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like no.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the tablet will like stop working, and sometimes he's just like he gets really upset. That's the other thing, man. I don't know if you do screen time with your kids, but it's almost like you feel like we shouldn't be giving you this device, at least not that often. But then sometimes you don't have a choice. It's like, I need you to sit and chill. Take this screen and sit and chill because I need a minute. Because otherwise they're like, hey, want to play Uno?
They're definitely nice to get that minute
Uno?
sometimes, and it's cool when Uno is already a game on the device.
On the
and they
device.
could just play it.
Man. All right, baby. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Love you so much. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Pilot episode.
Yeah.
Mo Mommies Mo Problems. We're going to do some more stuff. We're going to have some more awesome conversations. And thank you.
Thank you, baby.
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
Bye.